Hi again. This is a presentation on our ROCKS alignment. ROCKS is our school character traits program, and we just realigned everything last year. So I wanted to share with you this presentation so you can come to school prepared to ask any questions you might have regarding this. So ROCKS is something that's part of our PBIS program, Positive Behavior Support Program. One of the things that we talked at length about was our purpose. We wanted to make sure that we aligned all aspects of our ROCKS traits to our incentives, our classroom discipline, our school discipline, our classroom and school-wide incentives. And we wanted to make sure that it was purposeful and understanding for parents and for families. This is off the side, hold on. Here we go. For our school-wide expectations, we have a shared vision. We are all accountable for the universal language of ROCKS, and our classroom expectations are all tied to ROCKS, and our universal expectations around the school is all tied to that. So we do have Mustangs. We did get rid of the shoes just in the past year, and I'll explain a little bit about that in a minute. Positive referrals, all of that. So to give you a little bit of background, this was something that was proposed, but this did in fact pass. So we did do this. You're looking at the presentation when we were proposing the change. So some of it's a little outdated. But this right here are school-wide expectations for each trait. So when we want kids to be responsible, this is what it looks like. We want kids to be open-minded. This is what it looks like. We want them to be good citizens. This is what it looks like, being kind and safe. So our ROCKS stand for responsible, open-minded, citizen, kind, safe, and friendly. We ask that every teacher has those posted within their classroom, and that is how you set up your classroom management program as well as follow our school-wide program with that. Conceptual understanding. For behavior, we talk about recognition. There's lots of different ways that we recognize kids. We do have Pop Rocks, which are little raffle tickets that you can use in your classroom. You don't have to use those, but that is provided for you, and I have copies of all of this on the resource site. But for different classroom incentives, you may have them fill up a jar with Pop Rocks or shout outs or recognitions that are tied to our ROCKS traits, and then the class can earn something. We do have Mustangs that you can give out. And then those are turned in by grade level to the office. And then every Friday, although we're changing that, it's going to be once a month, but every Friday there will be a drawing over the announcements, or we're still making that decision. We used to do it during an assembly, but we're doing assemblies once a month now for Spirit Assembly. So most likely the Mustangs will be, we'll pick one Mustang per grade level, and their names will be read off over the announcements on Fridays, and the kids can come up and get a Flagstone ROCKS pencil. We do have Spirit Assemblies. We're updating those a little bit. We did them weekly, and we found that they got pretty boring. So we're now moving them to the first Friday of every month. Those are already in our master calendar, so you're able to see those. It will be from 3:15 to 4, and that agenda will be coming. We do have Golden Mustang. Those are things for kids that not only do what we ask them to do, but they go above and beyond. And Golden Mustangs, any kids that are recognized during the month, they have milk and cookies with the principals at the end of the month for that. Teacher emails, obviously sending emails home. Phone calls, we do have positive referrals where you can fill out a positive referral and send it to the office. And then the principals call home, and we give lots of kudos for kids, and we have treasure box in the office where they can get out of the treasure box if they got a positive referral. And so for correcting behavior, we have something called a redirection. It's a green sheet. It's something that only you use with the student. It doesn't go home, it doesn't go to the office, but it's just a way to reteach behavior where kids are, if a student is violating one of the ROCKS traits, and it would just be something that you would use to redirect their behavior. If the redirection isn't working on a specific behavior, we then move to a reflection. And the reflection sheet gives the student an opportunity to reflect on their behavior and what they can do differently. And that sheet is yellow. And that sheet does go home to the parents. And that needs to be signed by parents and brought back. And that's purely at a classroom level. That doesn't go to admin. The response to that is you keep track of that. It's restorative. The focus is really on growing the behavior and not on punishment. Recognitions for proposed ROCKS. I kind of explained a lot of that already, but I'll put this presentation on the new teacher site too so you can look at it in more detail. Here's a copy of what the Pop Rocks look like, and those, again, the master is on the resource site, so you can copy that. This right here is a master of what the Mustangs look like, and we'll have copies of those, and those are typically green because green is everything that's good. Classroom Mustangs, those are 8.5, 11 by sheets of paper, and those are something that special teachers can hand out to give recognition to a whole class. Admin hands it out, office staff hands it out, lunch supervision folks hand it out, and it's to recognize a class for great behavior. Positive referrals, I talked a little bit about those. Those are things that you fill out and send to the office with the student for a phone call home. This is what the green redirection form looks like. This is what the yellow reflection form looks like. We did add a piece to have the teacher be able to write a section on it. And these will all be on NCR paper. For those of you who don't know what that is, it will be on triplicate so that you won't have to make a copy. So you'll be able to keep a copy. The yellow will go home. And the same with the office referral. So this would be something where you need to get administration involved in something. Hitting, foul language that's ongoing, aggressive, bullying, things that you would typically need to handle outside of your classroom. I would caution you that once you reach out to admin, once it gets to that level, it's pretty significant. So there has to have been behavior intervention prior to that, with the exception of a fight or something. We don't typically see a lot of that at Flagstone. And these are pink sheets. So that's really what our ROCKS program looks like. We'll talk a little bit more about that if you have any more questions.